I want to ask you guys this question before we get rolling in today's show. Following the NFL draft, in your opinion, what is the Giants' biggest need? If you had to say a position that they still needed to maybe add some talent at, what would it be? Let me know down in the comment section. You are watching New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. The NFL draft is over and done with, but according to Joe Schoen and listening to what he has to say, it doesn't sound like the Giants are done adding players to their roster. So in today's show, we're going to go through some free agency guys and players that are out there that I think the Giants still could look to go and sign. The reason I think the Giants could go out and add more players, well, Joe Schoen pretty much told you that they're not done in that department. He said, we are always going to be looking to continue to improve. We'll never be satisfied. We will continue. Again, right now is another opportunity to add players in depth and competition with the college free agency process. Then we'll have a rookie mini camp next weekend, so we'll have some players that'll be here for that. You always see after the NFL draft that some teams take this time to go and sign some of those talented veterans left in free agency. I think the Giants might just do that. And if the Giants make a move, if they make a signing, we are going to be breaking it down here on the channel. So make sure you guys are subscribed. We're getting closer and closer to 28,000 subs on the channel. So if you want to be the first person to know if the Giants make a move, hit that big red button. And I also want to say welcome, because over the NFL draft, we added 650 subscribers. So for all you people that just subscribed, make sure your notifications are turned on. Hit the bell icon. It looks just like that right here, and select all. So every time we put a video out here on the channel, you get alerted and you never miss a thing. I do want to start with Deion Jones. Is probably the most likely player the Giants could go out and sign, because remember, Jones took a free agency visit with the New York Giants about a month ago, and I believe they had him go through a physical because he has missed some time back in 22 with the Falcons before he got to the Browns, had offseason surgery, and I think they wanted to see where he was out, and they said, if we don't get an opportunity to address the linebacker position in the NFL draft, they could look to sign Deion Jones. And I would absolutely love that, because this is a guy at one point was considered a top 5 linebacker in the NFL. Is he that guy anymore? Probably not. But he's still a good football player. I mean, look what he did in 2021. 137 tackles, 8 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks. In 2020, over 100 tackles. In 2019, over 100 tackles. I also like his ability to be a blitzer at that linebacker position. He had 2.5 sacks this year, 2 the year before, and 4.5 the year before that. And I think the Giants could still add a player to this linebacker depth chart. I love the addition of Bobby Okereke. I believe that was one of the best free agency signings. I like Jared Davis, or Jared Davis, whichever way you want to say it. I've heard him say it both ways, so I don't know which way to say it. But you're looking for a guy like Darian Beavers coming off an ACL injury to hop in and be a ball player. You're expecting a guy like Micah McFadden in his second season to come in and make your team and be a player that can give you some valuable snaps. But I would not be surprised if the Giants go out and sign Deion Jones. I'll tell you this much. They didn't just bring him in for a free agency visit for nothing. They wanted to check him out because they like him, and the Giants know they got to get better at that inside linebacker spot. So I want to ask you guys, do you think the Giants should sign Deion Jones? Really fast player, sideline to sideline linebacker, has the ability to blitz the passer. I wouldn't be shocked if they do it. I would actually be in favor of them doing it. I would love to see Okereke and Deion Jones in the middle. Obviously, they'd have to work out the money. But you can create cap space, restructure Leonard Williams, extend his money into the future. That's $13 million in cap space. I don't think Deion Jones will be that expensive. Maybe 1 year, $3 or $4 million. Very, very similar to the Ashawn Robinson contract. So let me know. This will be the pinned comment when you get hit with that YouTube ad break. Scroll on down and let me know what you think about Deion Jones. Another player that I think the Giants could be linked to, even though they selected 2 corners in the draft, I think it makes it less likely they go out and get a guy like Marcus Peters, but they're obviously connections to Marcus Peters. Go back to his time in Baltimore. He played for Wink Martindale. He knows the system and he fits the system like a glove. He is getting older, no doubt about it, and that's why I think this could be possible. Maybe a one-year veteran minimum deal. I do think this is less likely than Deion Jones, but I do think the Giants could go out and maybe take a peek at Marcus Peters. When you look at what he's done the last 4 years, he's still a solid football player. He's an aggressive corner. He likes to jump routes. He's a playmaker at that spot. At one point, he led the NFL in pick sixes over a time of a couple seasons. This past year for Baltimore, 6 pass breakups, 1 interception. Did not play in 2021, but in 2020, 9 pass breakups. 2019, 14 pass breakups and 9 interceptions in those 2 seasons. The Giants, they have a lot of bodies at this spot. I mean, look, you got Jackson, Holmes, Robinson, Fly, Johnson, Deonte Banks, your first-round pick. Then you selected Trey Hawkins as well in the NFL draft. Amani Oruwariye as well. So I do think that Peters is less likely, but I don't know if they're done adding to this position group. I think they could be, no doubt about it. But I think Peters could be a guy that maybe they call and see if he wants to come play for the veteran minimum. I believe that's all the Giants would offer him. But if they want to sign him, sure, I wouldn't mind it. But I'm not going to be mad if they don't do it. Either I don't mind playing the young guys at that spot, getting them those reps, but play the young guys. That's kind of where I'd go. I'd kind of pass on Marcus Peters. But if they sign him, I'm not going to be mad whatsoever. I don't think he's going to ask for a lot of money. I mean, there's a reason that it's May 1st and he hasn't signed yet. We'll get to a couple edge rushers I think the Giants could go out and look at because they definitely need to sign another edge rusher. We'll show you that depth chart. But first, listen up, everybody, because we got some awesome Giants jerseys on sale for you guys. The throwback jerseys are the ones that we are featuring today. Go to chatsports.com/Giants throwback. They got a lot of current players. They got some throwback players. I saw a Tuck, an OCU Minora jersey on there. They got a whole bunch of awesome jerseys. Get yours today by going to this link, chatsports.com/Giants throwback. That link is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. I believe the Giants do need to go out and sign another pass rusher because when you think about it, you got Kayvon Thibodeau, you got Azeez Ojulari, but who do you got after that? So I wanted to break these guys down into 2 tiers. I believe these guys on screen are the best 4 pass rushers still available, but I think these guys are actually going to be out of the Giants' price range. I think all of these guys on screen will be too much money. So let's go to tier 2 of the pass rushers. And this is where I think the Giants could go out and look to sign a veteran guy that could be a supplemental and rotational player. And there's a couple of guys that I really, really like. Let's start with Justin Houston, who even though he may be the oldest out of all of them, he's still got some juice in those legs. This past season, 9.5 sacks for the Baltimore Ravens. He has some experience playing in a defense like Wink Martindale runs. If he can play and wants to continue to play and agrees to a cheap-ish contract, which I think he would, I'd love to go get him. Because, man, could you imagine if the Giants get 5 sacks from Justin Houston? And I would love for Justin Houston to be a mentor for Kayvon Thibodeau and Azeez Ojulari. What about Robert Quinn? He was not good last year, but, man, he was good in 2021. He wasn't good in 2020, but, man, was he good in 2019. And if we're just going by the laws of math, 2019 he was good, 2020 he wasn't. 2021 he was good, 2022 he wasn't, which means in 2023, just going by the math, he might actually be good. I believe it would be a 1-year cheap deal for Robert Quinn as well. I would keep my eyes on Robert Quinn and Justin Houston, see if the Giants want to bring in a depth piece and a rotational edge rusher, because I love Thibodeau and I love Azeez Ojulari, but I don't know if I love Ryder Anderson. I don't know if I love Ellerson Smith. I don't know if I love Tom and Fox. I love the interior of this Giants D-line. I love Leonard Williams and Dexter Lawrence and Jihad Ward and Rakeem Nunez-Roches and Ashawn Robinson. But you need another guy to get after the passer. You need someone. Because what happens if Kayvon gets hurt? What happens if Azeez Ojulari, who's been injury-riddled throughout his young NFL career, gets injured? I don't want to speak it into existence. It's not what I'm saying. But as Joe Schoen says, you need to have contingency plans. And I wouldn't mind signing a guy like Justin Houston or Robert Quinn. I believe there'll be cheap contracts, and I believe that the Giants is what they're looking for at this point. I do want to ask you guys, though, what's your confidence in this Giants pass rush? Is it high? Is it low? Scale it for me. 1 being you're not confident at all. 10 being you have the utmost trust and confidence in this pass rush group. Mine's about a 5, to be honest with you. I love our top 2 guys, but you need some more depth. You need some more bodies. So I'd go with a 5, but let me know what you think down below. Thank you to everybody that has tuned in to today's video. I want to do this video because I do believe the Giants could add another player, and this is usually the time of year when you see those veterans get signed over the next couple of weeks. So appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up icon if you enjoyed today's show.